It's over the top. It's over.
No. These are called champions. These are called role models. These are my personal role models. You know what? Can you give me my camera? There we go. I want to talk to you, the viewer. Let's take you for Scott for a second. I just want to say we are watching history. We are watching some of the greatest superstars of all time. I also want to take this moment to apologize. I was talking on Cheap Pete, the world's #1 sports and recreation podcast on ESPN, and I was talking to my audience, and I said some things a few weeks ago about Sasha and Bayley, and I want to apologize. I doubted you. I questioned this run that you're on. I'm sorry. We're talking about, imagine if Rita and Trish were mixed with Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, plus a little bit of HBK, Macho Man Randy Savage, everything all put together. That's what we're watching. We're watching history with Sasha and Bayley. And frankly, you should speak with them with more reverence and respect.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you took that diatribe time to make a bathroom run, I do not fault you. Folks, Sasha Banks and Bayley both in championship action tonight. The Boss challenging Asuka for the Raw Women's title, which we're going to get to in a bit. But first, let's talk Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Nikki Cross. Pete, Friday Night SmackDown, we saw Nikki Cross backstage with Alexa Bliss. Kind of the confidence not there right now, doubting herself heading into tonight's match.
Here's how I look at it. Would you doubt yourself if you were about to have a matchup with Mike Tyson in 1988? Because that's basically what Nikki Cross is dealing with. She's going against Bayley in her prime.
That's the comparison?
Yes.
Mike Tyson.
Think. Do you remember the Sphinx fight, 91 seconds? Think about Tyson's Sphinx. That's what you're seeing tonight. So people love Nikki Cross, and they love Michael Sphinx. You remember how that ended?
Yeah.
That's why it
ended quickly. All right, well, listen, let's say Nikki does win tonight, right? The spotlight now shines on Nikki Cross if she wins. How does Alexa Bliss handle that? How does their friendship move forward? Does Alexa kind of get a little jealous now? Because she's always number one in that relationship.
Well, hold on. Bliss is a decorated champion. Let's start there. But again, the reason you worry about that is the exact thing you don't have to worry about with Sasha Banks and Bayley. Why? Because they've been friends forever. They're true best friends. Can I just add, not only are they great, have you seen Sasha Banks' dog? It's one of the cutest corgis on planet Earth, and as a proud owner of a corgi myself, bear the dog, let me tell you, that is a gorgeous animal. Gorgeous.
Prediction, I gather you're going, Bayley?
That's correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new and improved United States Championship is up for grabs tonight. Apollo Crews defends the title against MVP, who's actually been carrying around that beautiful new championship. Let's go back to Orlando to Charlie Caruso.
You got a light pitches. Just right. Look how that's my man. Perfect, right? Look at that. Nice. Oh, man, that's great. Good man. Just put my plate over.
Excuse me, MVP, Bobby. No, I was curious about your strategy.
I know. You were just about to ask me how much money I spent on this beautiful United States Championship, right?
Well,
I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. That's not what we're going to discuss tonight.
okay, fair enough. But what I was really going to ask you was about your title match tonight at the horror show at Extreme Rules against the, well, actual United States champion, Apollo Crews.
Apollo Crews? You see, a real champion comes to work. But Apollo Crews has been with the Witness Relocation Program ever since I introduced him to the Earth Movements. It's not what you do. It's all good, Roberto. It's all good. See, let me explain this to you. Apollo Crews is verified. As far as the WWE is concerned, he's officially the champ. That's how it is. But here's the more important thing. Tonight, even if Apollo is 100%, he still has to deal with me, the greatest United States champion of all time. And I stand with having this championship belt made for me. Because there are some things money can't buy, and that's wisdom. And I have the wisdom to know that I will maintain this United States Championship going forward. Apollo Crews' youthful exuberance put him in a terrible position. All I wanted to do was mentor him. All I wanted to do was help him. They say that a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Well, a lot of people around here better start getting wise. Because after I'm championship, Apollo will be pondering his lack of wisdom. Well, let's just say it like this. It's about to be.
You know, you are so used to hanging out in the VIP lounge of any club that you're in. I mean, I could see you balling with that beautiful new championship.
I cannot wait until MVP has that title.
You think he's taking it tonight?
No, he's the shit.
You really in for MVP tonight?
He's the greatest U.S. champion in history.
That we know. In history. But how about present day?
History's going to repeat itself tonight. And first of all, I've been in the VIP lounge with MVP before.
Really?
Yes. He's a good friend of mine.
Listen, come on, talk about Apollo. I mean, the guy's got the speed, the strength, the agility in his corner. I know MVP has Lashley in his corner, but
not only that, Scott Sanford. He's got the brains. That's what MVP is. He is a mastermind. In my opinion, MVP, along with Sasha Banks and Bayley, are the MVPs of the WWE right now, period. MVP does everything well. What can't MVP do well? I'll win.
He's a good athlete. He's a good talker. He's a good businessman. I can't argue with you right there. Does he pull his veteran bag of tricks out of the bag tonight?
Absolutely. And then he's going to be unstoppable. Once he has the U.S. Championship around his waist, MVP cannot be stopped.
See if you're right, my friend. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, one of the most intriguing and possibly most gruesome matches coming your way at the horror show at Extreme Rules. Of course, we're talking about Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio in an eye for an eye match. These two superstars are just swimming in bad blood and disgust for one another. Tonight, either Rollins or Mysterio will have to do the unthinkable to walk out a winner.
An eye for an eye. An eye for an eye. An eye for an eye. What does it mean? What does it mean? You know what that means? I know what it means. An eye for an eye. I know what it means. I'm trying to understand how we got to this point. Rey Mysterio sacrificed himself for the future of Monday Night Raw. Yeah. And you go back. Wow. Something needs to be done about it. Dominic is an adult. He can either stand by me, someone from this family, or he can become a sacrifice as well.
stipulation, of course, that you have to pluck your opponent's eyeball out of its socket in order to win. Keeping in mind that Rey Mysterio was the man that actually chose this stipulation. JBL, are you surprised that this is the route that Rey wanted to go with this?
No, I'm not. I mean, you brought Ray's son into this. Look, I WrestleMania 25, I wrestled Rey Mysterio for that Continental Championship. He defeated me. I got so upset afterwards. I retired. I quit the business after that. Hey, I haven't been back in the ring since. And there's a reason that Rey Mysterio is the ultimate underdog here. I've seen him against the Big Show. You think he didn't have a chance. But Rey Mysterio has everything to fight for in this. Rey Mysterio is going to go after Seth Rollins. I was in a match one time in Vienna, Austria, working for Otto Box with my tag team partner. Literally thought he had nothing else to do, and he stuck his thumb in our opponent's eye, trying to pull it out of his head. It was one of the most shocking, brutal things I've ever seen. That's legal in this match. This is crazy to me that this is being sanctioned, this is being allowed. I can't wait to watch it. If you can watch it, but I think it's going to be something people are going to talk about for years.
Without question. And Booker, do you think that there's going to be too much emotion coming into this match for Rey Mysterio? I mean, is he going to be able to execute this properly? Does he have something up his sleeve perhaps going into this?
You know what? I don't know if he got something up his sleeve. He should, have something up there. Because me personally, I was always one about, trying to get an upper hand. I didn't care if I had to cheat to do it. That just off the court. But my thing is, this is something that my colleague John said a second ago. And, he brought his son Dominic into this. I done been to different, man. Dominic kind of like interjected himself into this. Dominic, you work with Rey Mysterio. Me and Rey Mysterio wrestled in 2006. I actually happened to beat him on that time. But Rey Mysterio was a guy that was standing on his own 2 feet. Rey Mysterio was a guy that could go out there and fight his own battles. Dominic stepping into the game. The question is Dominic a distraction? Is he a reason why all of this is happening? Me personally, I think so. Because I think the kid needs to be in some high school.
WWE, the horror show at Extreme Rules. Thank you for tuning in and watching this live stream. My live reactions, play-by-play to the 2020 edition of WWE, the horror show at Extreme Rules. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. As always, links in the description below. Scroll down, check those out. Thumbs up button, share on social media as well. Hashtag WWE, hashtag the horror show, hashtag Extreme Rules. Chat questions and comments, always greatly appreciated as well. Tonight, we will witness the first ever Wyatt Swamp fight between the current Universal Champion and the Monster Among Men in a non-title match versus the returning Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Also tonight at the horror show at Extreme Rules, an eye for an eye match between Rey Mysterio and the Messiah of the WWE in Seth frickin' Rollins. Drew McIntyre will also defend his WWE Championship against show-off Dolph Ziggler. We'll find out the stipulation later on tonight. However, right now, the kickoff show is on. We head to Orlando. Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, Samoa Joe. We will have our first match of the evening now coming up next. Right now, it'll be the prize fighter, Kevin Owens, against Buddy Murphy on the WWE, the horror show at Extreme Rules kickoff pre-show, as this match was just recently added within the past few hours. Kevin Owens making his appearance tonight in Orlando at the WWE Performance Center for the horror show at Extreme Rules, Kevin Owens versus Buddy Murphy. Also, though, this evening, as mentioned, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler will get Apollo Crews defending his United States Championship against Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP as well. The winner will walk out with the newly designed United States Championship. Asuka and Bayley will also defend their Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships as well. It will be Asuka versus Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nikki Cross. New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro in a SmackDown Tag Team Championship table match. that was added this past Friday night on SmackDown. And because Cesaro defeated Big E on SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro then were allowed to pick the stipulation. They chose between a tables match and a steel cage match. They went with the tables match, so it would be the New Day, Big E, and Kofi Kingston versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro later on tonight in a SmackDown Tag Team Championship table match. And yes, earlier on the kickoff show, we had Devon Dudley backstage with the New Day. And now, as well, earlier this afternoon, the WWE announced that Bubba Ray Dudley will be on the WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules watch along. So the Dudley boys could very well make a return this evening here at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Only time will tell. Since it is a tables match, since Bubba's on the watch along and Devon, even though he is a producer, Bubba no longer with Ring of Honor, Devon as a producer backstage then with the New Day segment, it would make sense, especially because it's a tables match. The Dudley boys made those TLC matches with Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys famous, so we'll see what happens tonight at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Kickoff show, though, underway. Kevin Owens, Buddy Murphy. We're about 20 minutes away from the top of the hour from the start of the main card. But Kevin Owens, Buddy Murphy, a disciple to the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. He could very well have his eye taken out during the eye for an eye match with Rollins and Mysterio later on tonight as well. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that did in fact happen, as I stated that in my WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules preview predictions. Hopefully you check those out. If you did not, you still have some time before the Horror Show at Extreme Rules begins on the WWE Network. And thank you once again for tuning in and watching my live reactions. Play-by-play. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke at 96. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Hit that thumbs up button. Share on social media. Hashtag Extreme Rules. Chat questions and comments. Always greatly appreciated as well. Kevin Owens, Buddy Murphy. Murphy off of the second rope. Owens with a kick to the midsection and then a DDT with both superstars now down and out. Owens and Murphy now trying to get back to their feet. Owens holding on to the ropes. Clothesline misses. Owens off the ropes now. Clothesline to Buddy Murphy as he goes 360. Owens with a senton, but Murphy gets his knees up. Owens once again somewhat in a storyline with Seth Rollins once again as they faced off at the Show of Shows, WrestleMania 36, with Owens picking up the victory. Owens with a cannonball coming. Miz would be happy. Cannonball from Owens, cover, 1, 2, kick out at 2.5 by Buddy Murphy. Murphy's going to be ringside for Rollins later on tonight, as Dominic, I would assume, would be as well for his father, Rey Mysterio, in the eye for an eye match with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. We'll see what that entails, as it's the first ever eye for an eye match in WWE history. Yes, AEW did this back in February. However, all these major leagues, if you will, across the sports world copy each other all the time regardless, so it is what it is. Owens with a few chops now to Murphy as they're walking from corner to corner. Owens putting Murphy up on the top turnbuckle now. Another chop to the chest of the former Cruiserweight champion and Buddy Murphy. Hashtag Extreme Rules once again when you share on social media. A few NXT superstars in attendance wearing their mask. Hopefully you are as well if you go out and about. Hopefully everyone's been staying safe. Murphy off the top rope with a double knee right to the face of Kevin Owens. Murphy now going to go for cover. 1, 2, Owens kicks out at 2.5. match continues a replay of the double knee off the top rope from Buddy Murphy, the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. A new name and a newly fresh designed logo. No more red and black. It's now purple with a yellowish green. And now as well called the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, with most of these matches this evening having stipulations. A match that I believe everyone thought we were going to get this evening. However, they added Owens Murphy within the past few hours or so. That'd be Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. They announced after Sheamus took out Hardy during a backstage interview on SmackDown a few nights ago, they will have the bar fight this upcoming week on Friday Night SmackDown. So a bar fight with Jeff Hardy and Sheamus this Friday on SmackDown, unless plans change. Also tomorrow night on WWE Monday Night Raw, Big Show, Randy Orton in an unsanctioned match. Murphy with a DDT. Kick out at 2 by Kevin Owens once again.
And this match will continue.
Another replay. They're going replay heavy. More of a vertical suplex in the middle of the ring than a DDT, but Owens still kicks out at 2. About 15 minutes away now from the top of the hour for the start of the main card for Extreme Rules. When they announced Extreme Rules was going to be the July pay-per-view last month during WWE Backlash that made a return this year as well, they showed off the fresh designed logo for Extreme Rules. And at that point, it was still just Extreme Rules, but in the meantime, since they've added the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, because hopefully the main event tonight we'll get the Wyatt Swamp fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. The co-main event, I would think it's going to be Mysterio Rollins, an eye for an eye. However, they could flip-flop that. But before then, we'll get this with Kevin Owens and Buddy Murphy. Owens now up on the top turnbuckle as well. Maybe a frog splash. Enziguri from Murphy right to the side of the face. Owens hanging down a little bit now. Murphy climbing up top. Murphy gonna go for a vertical superplex off the top rope. Owens gonna reverse it, throw Buddy Murphy down, and Owens still up on the top rope. Here comes a frog splash from Kevin Owens, it looks like. Owens gonna go, wow. 1, 2, kick out by Murphy. Once again, a very, very good match on the Extreme Rules kickoff show between Kevin Owens and Buddy Murphy. As Owens was going to go for the frog splash, it looked like. Then potentially an elbow drop. But then Owens goes flying with a moonsault from the top rope to Buddy Murphy before Murphy kicked out. So as mentioned, 2 women's championship matches as well. No women's tag because the women's tag team champs are both in fact in those Raw and SmackDown women's championship matches. Super kick from Kevin Owens and then a stunner as well to Buddy Murphy. 1, 2, 3. The prize fighter himself, Mr. KO, Kevin Owens, victorious over Buddy Murphy on the Horror Show at Extreme Rules kickoff pre-show. This will fuel the feud with Seth frickin' Rollins even more. As mentioned, it seems like it'll be Owens Rollins once again after Extreme Rules tonight. Even though I have said that Owens Apollo Crews for the U.S. Championship would be good as well, but it looks like MVP is going to win that tonight, and then Bobby Lashley could potentially turn on Montel Vontavious Porter before Lashley would win the U.S. Championship at SummerSlam, and then they have to figure out what they're going to do with Apollo Crews then at that point. And then we get Owens Rollins again, potentially a number 1 contender match for the WWE Championship, because come SummerSlam it looks like it'll be Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship, and then potentially Orton recapturing the WWE Championship for the first time in quite a while. About a year late on that prediction, I thought last year, heading on into SmackDown on Fox, as they preview Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, Nikki Cross for this evening's Extreme Rules pay-per-view as well. For the debut of SmackDown on Fox, Friday Night SmackDown now on Fox since this past October. Bayley's been SmackDown Women's Champion since the second week of SmackDown on Fox. However, as we have Scott Stanford and Peter Rosberg on the kickoff panel, we had Renee Young, Booker T, and JBL as well via Zoom. But a year late with Orton recapturing the WWE Championship, I thought at that point it would be best, as AEW did the same thing with Chris Jericho becoming the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Champion before losing to Jon Moxley this past February on Leap Year Day at AEW Revolution in Chi-Town. That was actually the last live AEW pay-per-view with fans, as the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view a few weeks later in Philadelphia, an event that I was actually at in person. Videos from recent professional wrestling events live right here on the channel, so be sure to go check those out as well. That Elimination Chamber pay-per-view for the WWE was actually the last pay-per-view with fans as well, and then the next night on Raw, that was the last event with fans of the whole for Monday Night Raw in Washington, D.C. And then since mid-March with the pandemic, it's been social distancing at its finest, and WWE recently as well added the plexiglass hockey-like shield between the barricade and the rings. So it is what it is, but with Orton and McIntyre, we could very well get that next month at SummerSlam on, I believe it's August the 23rd, unless they change the date. I believe as we normally do get a preview to the next pay-per-view during the pay-per-view that's live, so we'll probably get a takeover and a SummerSlam clip during the show this evening. We'll have to find out and see, though. About 10 minutes away now from the start of the horror show at Extreme Rules, but AEW did that with Jericho. I thought it would have been best for WWE to do the same thing with Randy Orton. You can go check out my videos from about a year ago talking about this as well, if you would wish. But they won another out with Kofi Kingston losing to Brock Lesnar on SmackDown in a squash match, and then insert Cain Velasquez, who they've since released. But I mean, it is what it is. Enough with that, really, to be honest with you, because that was then, this is now. Only time's going to tell what they'll do for the future for SummerSlam now next month. That'll more than likely take place in Orlando at the Performance Center as well, because it doesn't look like we'll be getting back to live events with fans in attendance anytime soon. Yes, there have been a few sporting events that have had some fans in attendance, but with professional wrestling, with the WWE and AEW, to say the least, they've had friends and family along with superstars in attendance, social distancing, and hopefully wearing their masks 24/7 once they're out and about ringside and whatnot. So hopefully everyone's staying safe, and thank you once again for tuning in and watching Horror Show at Extreme Rules, live reactions, play-by-play. So it'll be Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler tonight, with Ziggler picking the stipulation. We'll see what that is later on tonight, but then McIntyre's for sure, no doubt, going to win. Orton could, come out and interfere. I highly doubt it, though, as they actually preview the unsanctioned match now tomorrow night as well, with the Big Show and Randy Orton, as mentioned earlier. They'll probably plant the seed for that either at the closing segment and the closing minutes of Raw tomorrow night after that unsanctioned match. That would soon be the main event. And then potentially next week on Raw as well, because we got about a month and a half, a little over a month, before SummerSlam now next month. So they'll have to build that up on Monday Night Raw, and obviously NXT and Friday Night SmackDown as well for the red, yellow, and blue brands of the WWE. So it looks like it's going to be McIntyre Orton, chosen one versus the Viper at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. But it all, as always, as it always does, it's all going to depend on what happens tonight in all these matches for all the storylines moving forward. So we'll see what happens. But the horror show at Extreme Rules once again this evening, July the 19th, 2020. We got a Wyatt swamp fight match between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, an eye for an eye match with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, Asuka, Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship, Bayley, Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's Championship. We just witnessed Kevin Owens defeat Buddy Murphy on the kickoff pre-show, and we'll also get Apollo Crews and MVP for the United States Championship. The other mid-card title in the WWE, the Intercontinental Championship, AJ Styles successfully defended and defeated the original bro Matt Riddle the other night on Friday Night SmackDown, as AJ Styles is still your Intercontinental Champion. King Corbin then attacked Matt Riddle following the match, so it looks like it'll be Corbin, Riddle in a feud moving forward as well. And then, as mentioned, it'll be Jeff Hardy, Sheamus this Friday night on SmackDown, and Big Show, Randy Orton tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Also tonight in a tables match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, New Day versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Once again, thank you for tuning in and watching my WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules live reactions, play-by-play. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cohan Luke 96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Hit that thumbs up button. Share on social media. Hashtag WWE. Hashtag The Horror Show. Hashtag Extreme Rules. Chat questions and comments. Always greatly appreciated as well. Last night at TNA Impact Slammiversary, the Good Brothers debuted in the main event after having a live podcast at midnight, Friday night into Saturday with Ryan Satin. Good interview, good podcast. It wasn't a shoot by any means. Be sure to go check it out. I highly recommend it. It was a damn good interview with what the Good Brothers have recently gone through in the WWE before being released after WrestleMania, as we saw a few other releases from the recent cuts in the WWE also debut, or re-debut for that matter, last night at TNA Slammiversary as well. As it looks like the Good Brothers, Big LG, Luke, Doc, Gallows, and Machine Gun Carl Anderson will be baby faces of the tag team for the time being. However, Heath Slater, now Heath Miller, going by Heath in TNA, debuted, even though he was on WWE programming, WWE Monday Night Raw a few weeks back. The contract clauses are officially up, so if they were cut, the 90 days is done and over with. They're free to sign. So the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson, are in TNA Impact. Heath Miller is his real name, not to be confused with the former Pittsburgh Steelers tight end, number 83, Heath Miller, a future Hall of Fame tight end, no doubt, that retired a little too early, in my opinion. But hey, it is what it is. The Steelers are still trying to figure out that tight end position. And hopefully, knock on wood, we'll get football returning next month. But nonetheless, Good Brothers are now in TNA. Heath Slater, formerly known as Heath Slater, now in the WWE. Heath Miller is his real name. He's now going by Heath. He cut a promo last night during TNA Slammiversary. We'll see what the future holds for him. And then also in the main event, it was a fatal four-way. Eddie Edwards, your new TNA heavyweight champion. Eric Young re-debuted. Good for EY. Eric Young back in TNA Impact, along with EC3. Ethan Carter III closed out TNA Impact Slammiversary 2020 last night, shattering a shot glass against the wall. So we'll have to see what the future holds for everyone in TNA. I think TNA just gave all us wrestling fans a reason to watch for the next few weeks or so, just to see the direction they're going in. But nonetheless, yeah, that was last night. Tonight, though, WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Chat questions and comments, always greatly appreciated. Share, thumbs up button, like, follow, and subscribe, as always. So we'll get the action kick-started here momentarily. Only now a few minutes away as we see the final video package during the kickoff show, it'll be for the WWE Championship match with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, two former tag team partners. Once McIntyre returned, a TNA heavyweight champion in his own regard as well. After he returned to the WWE, won the NXT Championship, was injured in late 2017 after Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era debuted. And then once McIntyre was healthy and cleared to return, was brought back up to the main roster. He's been an Intercontinental Champion in his own right as well in the past. They brought him up to the main roster on Monday Night Raw, tag team with Dolph Ziggler, and now tonight for the WWE Championship at Horror Show Extreme Rules, Drew McIntyre will defend his WWE Championship that he won at WrestleMania 36 against the Beast Incarnate Brock Lesnar, against Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler tonight. So we'll see what happens, and then at that point we'll see what the direction is for the WWE as well moving forward towards SummerSlam, as after tonight, in the next few hours or so, we'll officially be on the road to SummerSlam 2020. Scott Stanford, Peter Rosenberg about ready to close up shop, and we're about ready to get the horror show at Extreme Rules started. The first ever horror show at Extreme Rules. Most of these matches, as mentioned, have stipulations. A Wyatt Swamp fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. That's going to be your cinematic match of the evening. And then also an eye for an eye match with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. Obviously, yes, Kevin Owens, Buddy Murphy, that was just added to the kickoff pre-show earlier today, so no stipulation there. I mean, the women's championship matches, those are championship matches. We'll have to see if they announce something at the start of both those matches, as they very well could turn into a no DQ, no count out, no holds barred type, maybe a last woman standing of some sorts. But Apollo Crews MVP as well for the United States Championship. And then Ziggler is going to pick the stipulation for Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler WWE Championship match. So we'll see what happens. And hell, a tables match as well. Can't forget a tables match, as they always like to do that. It seems like with the New Day and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, or a tables match in general as a whole for a tag team championship match, regardless if the New Day or Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura are in that match all the time or not. But closing credits for the Extreme Rules kickoff show tomorrow night on Raw, unsanctioned, with Big Show and Randy Orton. It'll be Jeff Hardy and Sheamus this Friday night on SmackDown. And as far as we know, a bar fight. WWE Confidential, watch anytime on demand. Actually, just recently added some of those episodes to my watch list on the WWE Network. Are we ready for a good time? Hopefully. Yes. Are you ready for a good time? WWE Friday Night SmackDown intro, but hopefully Extreme Rules tonight will be pretty good. So yes, to some extent, I am a little excited for the horror show at Extreme Rules this evening. Warning, warning, warning. Then, now, WWE Forever. Welcome to the horror show at Extreme Rules, brought to you by whatever. Opening video package now for the WWE, the horror show at Extreme Rules. Once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Chat, questions, and comments, always greatly appreciated. Now the opening video package for the horror show at Extreme Rules, as we see some buzzards flying through the air. It looks like we're going to be going to the swamp here early. This place is like no other. Fear look. Danger, danger, danger. It looks like the Wyatt swamp fight is considered a danger zone, if you will. Be warned. No going back. A very, very cool opening video package vignette for WWE Extreme Rules, highlighted by the swamp fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. By the looks, as mentioned, this should be the main event. Co-main event should be Mysterio Rollins. Eye for an eye, as we see, okay. Some cool images on that as well. Rollins, Mysterio. Now Asuka and Sasha Banks as well. Now they're starting to highlight all the other matches that are going to take place tonight as well. There's McIntyre. Ziggler. Bray Wyatt once again has the whole world in his hands. Don't worry, it'll all be over. Run. The horror show at Extreme Rules. Horror show. Bray Wyatt laugh. And that'll do it for the vignette kicking us off. And now WWE, the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Live in Orlando at the WWE Performance Center. Hashtag Extreme Rules. They are live. They are live in Orlando at the PC. The swamp fight will have already been pre-taped as it's cinematic. People at home. New Day, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, SmackDown Tag Team Championship tables match kicking us off tonight. On the main card, we already saw Kevin Owens and Buddy Murphy on the kickoff pre-show with Owens picking up the win. A few tables set up, going down the ramp and ringside. We haven't seen Xavier Woods recently. He's still on the shelf injured. New Day, Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, SmackDown Tag Team Championship table match. Hashtag Extreme Rules. Once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. Like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Hit the thumbs up button. Share. Hashtag Extreme Rules. Chat questions and comments. Always greatly appreciated as well. Michael Cole, Corey Graves on commentary for this Friday Night SmackDown match at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. We'll have Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, Samoa Joe for the Raw matches as the New Day throw their trench coats once again at Corey Graves, who is on commentary, as that has become a little bit of a joke over the past few weeks and months. Following contest, thank you Greg Hamilton on ring announcing once again tonight. And the only way to win this match is to put your opponent through a table. So the Big E, Kofi Kingston tag team of the New Day will defend their SmackDown Tag Team Championship titles against Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in a table match. Here comes Cesaro with his 3D entrance. Cesaro, the Swiss Superman, And the artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style. They need to figure out what the hell they're doing with him. Other than having him in tag teams, mixed tag teams for that matter. Nakamura. They've been fighting for a few weeks on SmackDown, and then after Cesaro defeated Big E on SmackDown, Cesaro and Nakamura were allowed to pick the stipulation. They chose a tables match. We get that now, kicking off the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. But they are going to take us back 2 weeks ago. It was a tag team match. And then Cesaro and Nakamura stood tall afterwards, held the titles up, so that means they'll lose tonight. Especially with Cesaro and Nakamura winning this past Friday night on SmackDown, Cesaro over Big E, and then allowed to pick the stipulation. So the New Day, they will retain. And a woman referee officiating this men's SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. I think history is being made. Normally the men officiate the men matches and the women officiate the women matches, if I'm not mistaken. Unless I really haven't been paying attention as of late. Cesaro and Nakamura going right after the New Day. Cesaro working with Kofi, Nakamura working with Big E. Nakamura with a kick to Kofi, uppercut from Cesaro to Big E. Once again, thanks for tuning in and watching. Uppercut from Cesaro once again. And WWE, the Horror Show at Extreme Rules, is officially underway. If you have chat questions or comments, let me know. Hit that thumbs up button, share on social media as well. And later on tonight, we'll get the Swamp Fight and the Eye for an Eye match. Only way to win is to put your opponent through a table. Big E throwing Shinsuke into the plexiglass. New Day rocks, New Day sucks, chants, claps from the Performance Center crowd on the plexiglass. Big E now setting up a table ringside. Kofi working with Cesaro. And that table will probably stay set up ringside for the entirety of the match, I would think. Cesaro goes through this table right now. New Day retains real quick. It's not going to be a squash match. Here comes Nakamura from behind, taking out Kofi. Cesaro now reverse to Big E into the barricade. Shinsuke now going to set up a table in the ring, it looks like. Cesaro working with the steel steps. Yeah, so this is basically a no disqualification match, because it is a tables match. Cesaro with the steel steps right to Big E. Cesaro and Nakamura picking up Kofi Kingston, uppercut from the Swiss Superman. Kofi now up on the top turnbuckle. Nakamura in a red and blue outfit. Cesaro in his typical black trunks. New Day decked out in yellow for the horror show to Extreme Rules. Here comes Big E from behind, throwing Cesaro ringside. And Big E going to go for a power bomb on Nakamura through a table here, it looks like. Kofi off the top rope. Nakamura gets down. Here comes Cesaro as well. So Cesaro picking up Kofi. And Kofi just gets dropped. Not hard, but and a spear through the ropes from Big E to Cesaro, however, right to the right of the table, and they don't go through the table ringside. Match continues. Here comes Kofi with a drop kick to Shinsuke ringside, excuse me. New Day rocks. New Day sucks chance once again. Now Big E moving that table to the bottom of the ramp. Cesaro goes for a punch but completely misses. Cesaro now laying down on the table. New Day getting back in the ring now. Kofi off the ropes. Big E throwing him up, but then Nakamura and Cesaro pick up the table, and Kofi hits his head. It really wasn't that big of a move, but Kofi down and out. It wasn't like a steel chair to the stomach, or a table for that matter to the stomach. It was just barely grazed the face of Kofi Kingston. Cesaro Nakamura now. Now here comes Big E. Cesaro with a kick to the side of the head of Big E. Nakamura with a few of his as well. A few of his own as well. Big E off the ropes. Double spear, no. Cesaro Nakamura reverse with a double kick. Only one table set up, and that's ringside right at the end of the entrance ramp. There's a few more set up ringside that were preset, but for matches, or for tables that were set up after the match started with 4 opponents here, only one ringside. Nakamura now looking underneath the ring for another table. And Nakamura having some trouble getting the table up. Here comes Kofi off the top rope. Elbow to Nakamura. Big E with a belly-to-belly to Cesaro in the middle of the ring. Kofi with a kick to Shin ringside. So 2 tables now set up ringside. None in the ring. There is one in the ring, but it's on its back and the legs are in the air. So the New Day, for the hell of it, get another table underneath the ring. Yeah, really. One will do the job. Now the New Day are stacking tables on top of tables. Maybe that'll be the finish. And this is right in front of the announce table. And that's ringside. Kofi trying to pump us up. Big E climbing up top with Cesaro. Here comes Nakamura though from behind. And at the same point, or at the same time, excuse me, on the opposite side is that table that they had set up at the end of the entrance ramp. And then you have two tables stacked on top of each other. Kofi over the top rope. Cesaro throws down Big E. Cesaro Nakamura in control. Big E picking him up. Here comes Nakamura pulling him down. Big E gonna go for a little bit of a ride, and then Nakamura with a kick to the side of the head during the swing. And now here comes Kofi off the top rope, taking down Nakamura. Right hand to Antonio Cesaro. And then Nakamura almost goes through the table, but pushes it out of the way. Kofi over the top rope, taking out Shin ringside. Good match so far. Both matches tonight with Owens and Buddy Murphy during the kickoff pre-show, and this SmackDown Tag Team Championship table match with the New Day and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Very, very good matches so far to this point. Kofi with a few right hands to Cesaro in the corner. Another right hand as Cesaro's sitting on the top turnbuckle now. They're right there next to the tables, stacked on top of one another. WWE's biggest fan in attendance as well. Here comes Nakamura running up the steps. A kick to Kofi. Cesaro going to go for a power bomb to Kofi Kingston through the double tables. And the New Day have just went through the tables. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Wow. So they did use the tables stacked on one another as the finish. Cesaro with a power bomb to Kofi through those tables, and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So I guess this is what the hell they're going to do with Shinsuke Nakamura now. Tag Team Champion. Cesaro once again a Tag Team Champion, formerly a Tag Team Champion alongside Sheamus in the bar. And now this Friday night on SmackDown, we'll get a bar fight with Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. A replay of the powerbomb through the double tables. 2 tables Kofi just went through. 2 flights of tables. And now Cesaro and Nakamura are holding 2 new championship titles as they're your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Congrats to Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. I honestly didn't think that was going to happen, but good for him. Good. Congrats. They've finally figured out what they're going to do with them. And now Cesaro and Nakamura talking with Michael Cole and Corey Graves on commentary. So they stood tall for the past 2 weeks in a row, for that matter, after the tag team match. Held the titles in the air, and then Cesaro even beat Big E on SmackDown. They were allowed to pick the stipulation. They chose a tables match, and then at the Horror Show to Extreme Rules tonight, they defeat the New Day in the tables match to become your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. We'll see what they do with the New Day now. I mean, I would think the New Day will get a rematch, say, this week on SmackDown. As Cesaro and Nakamura now sit on one of the tables that they actually set up at the end of the entrance ramp, giving each other fist bumps. We just don't set the bar, we are the bar. But Cesaro and Nakamura, your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I mean, maybe they put the New Day on Raw if we're going to have another shake-up or a draft from now until, say, SummerSlam or shortly afterwards, just to shake things up once again. Because come October, it's going to be a year since they had the last draft. So now backstage, from left to right, Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, who are a tag team, and then Asuka and Kairi Sane. the Kabuki Warriors, who are somewhat still a tag team. And tonight, Asuka will face Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship, and then Nikki Cross will challenge Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Nikki Cross is ready, and it looks like it'll be Bayley, Nikki Cross coming up next at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Kyrie says, even if you lose, we'll still be your friends. Kyrie might be on her way out. So it will, in fact, be Bayley, Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss, and I would think Sasha Banks ringside. But with Sasha also up against Asuka tonight, Sasha might not come out during this match supporting Bayley, but hey, you never know. And the number 3's back in victory lane as well. Austin Dillon victorious at Texas Motor Speedway, winning the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 for his first win of the year. So the number 3 was famously drove by the late great Intimidator Dale Earnhardt back in victory lane. Bayley, here's Sasha by her side as well, so SmackDown Women's Championship match. Bayley's gonna win this, and then come SummerSlam, Bayley in the meantime is either gonna turn on Sasha, that could come tonight, or Sasha's gonna turn on Bayley. And then Bayley will drop the title at SummerSlam to Sasha, and Sasha Banks will become your new SmackDown Women's Champion. So that means Asuka's also going to win tonight. Asuka's going to defeat Sasha Banks and still be your Raw Women's Champion after this evening. And then potentially Shayna Baszler, and she just returned to Raw this past week for Asuka at SummerSlam. But if Kairi Sane's going to be on her way out, well, you might as well break up the Kabuki Warriors and have Asuka defeat Kairi Sane then at SummerSlam to make her look even stronger as your Raw Women's Champion. So we'll see what happens. The only time it's going to tell is normal, as usual. SmackDown Women's Championship match, Bayley, Nikki Cross.
She is one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, and she is the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley! Well, say what you may about Bayley and Banks, but there's nobody hotter in WWE today.
Not agreeing with you anymore. While Nikki Cross may be the sentimental favorite in this particular matchup, Nikki's reckless style would be her downfall. Bayley is caged. Bayley has evolved into a whole different other level. One mistake. Bayley's gonna
Bell rings, match underway. Bayley, Nikki Cross, SmackDown Women's Championship match with Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks ringside.
Taking Nikki too seriously in the early going of this matchup.
I'm going to disagree with you, Cole, because Bayley takes all of her opponents very seriously. Maybe it's bravado that she's putting forth to get inside the head of an already shaken Nikki Cross.
Or maybe she's just an egomaniac.
What Bayley's doing right now is trying to go Nikki in to getting overzealous, making that first mistake, because Bayley knows that's all it's going to take. Just one.
Yeah, pull out that naughty Nikki, that crazy Nikki persona, as
you mentioned, forced Nikki into a mistake and capitalized. Nikki, though, back in the corner and a slap of her own, and the champ didn't like that too much. Blatant disrespect from the challenger. Nikki's starting to feel it. Now Nikki into the corner, burying Bailey, and Nikki looking for a running bulldog. Bailey able to hang on momentarily.
Kick out at 2.5 by Bailey. Drop kick through the middle rope now. Nikki working Bailey ringside off the DDT by Nikki. Nikki Cross now off the top rope, frog splash, crossbody more so, cover, kick out at 2 once again. And Nikki Cross going right back up top. And another crossbody. 1, 2, another kick out at 2.5 by Bailey. So Nikki, a very, very fast sequence, not wasting any time at all. Nikki now with another crossbody ringside off the ring apron, taking out Bailey ringside. Bailey now whacking the head of Nikki Cross off the plexiglass, rolling her back in the ring. Bailey with a cover 1, 2, Nikki Cross kicks out.
Nikki Cross going splat into the boards at ringside. Now Bailey and Banks just mocking Cross. Notice how deliberate each and every one of the champion's motions have been since suffering a frenzy of offense from Nikki Cross. There's always Sasha Banks to worry about. Outside the ring, off the elbow, cover again, and Nikki managed to squirm away with a shoulder up. It's just been such an incredible number of months here for Bailey as champion, and she just keeps getting better and better every week. So confident. If you're an opponent, Corey, you know you've got to try to put away Bailey early, because then this is going to happen. Domination.
Well, Bailey's evolved, grown into a seasoned competitor in the WWE. She has the ability to capitalize on any mistake, any shortcomings that an opponent has.
Knocked off everybody that's come her way. Snap there, takedown on Cross, cover now, and a kick out again.
Bailey now having Nikki Cross in a headlock. Trying to make her go to sleep.
Take a moment, refocus, re-strategize while continuing to wear down the challenge. Well, many people said that perhaps
Nikki reverses, throws Bailey into the corner. Bailey with attack from behind. Bailey now has Nikki Cross in between the ring apron and, well, you really don't have that much hair anymore. And now Nikki Cross crawling out from the other side of the ring and literally scaring the hell out of Sasha Banks. And Bailey slides underneath the ring as well, or slides across the ring, excuse me, into the ring apron, and then out of the ring apron ringside. Now a neck breaker from Nikki in between the ropes. Nikki now with an elbow right to the face of Bailey.
Sasha
Headlock?
Banks is
Nikki had Bailey in a crossface, a submission. Now Bailey to belly. 1, 2. Nikki Cross kicks out at 2.5.
Wow. Now do the doubts start to form in the champ's head? A look in Bailey's eyes. Certainly a possibility for Nikki Cross may just infer the wrath, the full wrath of the SmackDown.
Alexa and Sasha still ringside.
Nikki trying to somehow to stay in this matchup. Cross still looks concerned at ringside, although Bailey has regained control. Out to the top rope, and Bailey going to follow her there. What's Bailey got in mind? Bailey realizes she's going to have to step up the level of offense she's pouring on. This could do it. Bailey with a superplex. Into the cover, hook to the leg, inside leg this time. Nikki kicks it too, and this match continues. Very impressive showing of tenacity from Nikki Cross. And will Bailey get frustrated at some point? And from behind now, Nikki's going.
Nikki Cross, quick roll up, 1, 2, kick out by Bailey. Bailey with a knee to the side of the head. 1, 2, another kick out by Nikki Cross.
When will frustration set in for the champion that she hasn't been able to put Nikki Cross away, and she's throwing everything she's got at the challenger?
Bailey's no stranger to being in the deep waters of a matchup. The longer this one goes, the better it favors Bailey. They got moral support on the outside in whatever capacity. That's nice.
And Bailey got caught trying to slide around the ring post, and I believe she was just bounced off the post.
That was Bailey's rib cage made contact. Bailey swung the champion around. Can Cross capitalize?
Bailey back to her feet, not quite sure where she's at. Now back to the midsection goes Nikki. Nikki focusing on the ribs, and now thrust right to the throat of the champion. And Bailey, Nikki steps underneath. Oh! Is it enough? Nikki down, Bailey down as well. Critical point in this championship match.
Nikki Cross unable to capitalize in this instance. Nikki taking a lot of time here. Bailey with some pretty substantial time to recover.
Nikki off the ropes, using the ropes for momentum. A couple of times now, Bailey knocked down.
Here comes the frenzy once again that Bailey's tried so desperately to avoid.
Basement drop kick by Nikki Cross. Now looking for the running bulldog, and this time she connects.
A running bulldog from Nikki. Now she's going to go back up top.
Looking for the exclamation point. Nikki heading up top, Cross taking her time here to make sure the champ's in position.
Bailey on her feet.
Nikki rolls through.
So Nikki rolls it through. Yes, Michael Cole, thank you. Neck breaker. 1, 2, kick out by Bailey.
Another near fall by the challenger, but Nikki can't get frustrated. She can't get upset. She's got to stay focused.
This is relatively unfamiliar territory for Nikki Cross. She's more likely to have doubt creep into her mind. The more and more offense she delivers it, Bailey continues to survive. The champion continues to thrive.
Nikki Cross looking pretty good tonight against Bailey. Showing out. A few backdrops. Kick out at 2 by Bailey.
What does have to do to keep the champ down?
I have no idea, neither does Nikki Cross. I mean, there's a reason Bailey's been champion for as long as she has. People love her personality.
And once again, Nikki Cross going to go back up top.
Does Nikki have that same winner's instinct?
Bailey on her feet, and Bailey knocks her down. Knee to the side of the head once again as well. Another cover. 1, 2, another kick out. 2.5.
Very lackluster escape from the pinfall attempt. But again, still a look of concern.
Nikki in the corner. Nikki. Yeah, Nikki in the corner. Moves out of the way. Bailey face first off of the middle turnbuckle. Yeah, Bailey running. And And then another neck breaker from Nikki Cross to Bayley ringside off of the ring apron, hitting the floor. Nikki's in full control, but Bayley somehow, some way is able to get a few pins, and Nikki's just been lucky to kick out. Now they're both back in the ring. Clothesline from Bayley. Clothesline from Nikki. Cover. 1, 2, kick out.
I don't necessarily if I know that I believe those things go on. Just tired of Bayley coming over here and yelling at us. And Nikki, she's got to focus here.
Bayley has to be the top woman's heel in the WWE right now. No more Bayley buddies after this past October, and she's been champion ever since. Sasha now getting involved up on the ring apron. Ref distraction. Bayley with a right hand to the midsection of Nikki Cross. And then a 1, 2, 3, Bayley, because of the distraction from her tag team champion partner and Sasha Banks. Bayley defeats Nikki Cross at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Sasha's also going to lose tonight, though. So if I were her, I wouldn't be smiling just yet. And because they're still your women's tag team champions, they'll have to take the titles off of them with Sasha or Bayley turning on one another. Potentially Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, potentially the Iconics. We'll see. And then for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam, it'll be Bayley defending and then more so than not losing to Sasha Banks. And it was a right hand with some brass knuckles to the midsection of Nikki Cross, and because of that distraction, that punch, 1, 2, 3, Bayley victorious, and still your SmackDown and one half of your women's tag team champions alongside Sasha Banks after the Horror Show at Extreme Rules this evening. Good match. All the matches so far have been good. I mean, hell, even that match was good. And normally, you know, it's a hit or miss. But I've thought so far all 3 matches to this point have been good. Now, knock on wood, I don't want to speak too soon and then, you know, something go all haywire and down the drain and stink up the show, but we'll see. What's the deal tonight? Buy one, get one for $1? Yep, buy one shirt, get one for $1 and save 40% off championship titles. That's every single day. Firefly Funhouse. Alright. Firefly Funhouse here tonight at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Let me in. A lot of circus-like. Now we're going back to high school chemistry class, it looks like. Is that Sister Abigail? No, that's Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt looks to be painting something. Actually, Bray Wyatt is now a vampire. The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. And Bray Wyatt during Firefly Funhouse is now a vampire. And he's going to show us some footage that no one's ever seen before. Oh my God. Go back to SmackDown a few weeks back, the karaoke showdown, and then, hey, you stupid rabbit, show the right footage, do your job right. We're about ready to bear witness to something never before seen, says Bray Wyatt. The monster Braun Strowman, the monster among men, the current Universal Champion, going home to the swamp to face the Eater World's Bray Wyatt later on tonight in the Wyatt Swamp Fight. Yowie wowie. So Firefly Funhouse Vampire Edition with Bray Wyatt filling some time during the horror show at Extreme Rules this evening. It looks like we'll have a Raw match next. Probably Apollo Crews MVP, as we have Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, Samoa Joe now in commentary. The horror show at Extreme Rules. Okay. We are now not having a United States Championship match. Apollo Crews is not passing, quotes, WWE style, his pre-match physical, so he might have COVID. 1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick, tock. Remember me. Remember when I'm coming. Montel, Vontavious, Porter, MVP, alongside Bobby Lashley. Still coming down the ring, though. Even though we will not now have a United States Championship match at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules between Apollo Crews and MVP. The new United States Championship, though, is ringside by the commentating desk. So maybe MVP is just going to announce that he's the new U.S. champion, or maybe he'll hand it right to Bobby Lashley. Or maybe Lashley's going to turn on MVP right now, and we're not going to have the Hurt Business anymore. We have some highlights now from a few weeks back on Monday Night Raw with Lashley, MVP, and Apollo Crews. But nonetheless, no United States Championship match now, because Apollo hasn't been on TV as of late. It'd be best just to strip him of the damn title, figure something out for him, you know, once he comes back. And I mean, we'll see what happens. Instead of the United States Championship match, we're now going to get a promo with MVP and Bobby Lashley.
Now wait a minute. Unfortunately, Bobby, you and I have our own problem that we need to come to terms with right now.
And MVP and Lashley have themselves a problem. The full Nelson, the Masters Lock, returning in 2020. No Dudley Boys earlier during the table match either, so I'll throw that out there. Due to forfeit, the new United States champion, me, MVP. All right, I'll take it. MVP's arguably one of the greatest U.S. champs ever. And this just makes sense for the story. To then still have Lashley turn on MVP and hell, maybe even have that tonight and have Lashley become the new U.S. champ. MVP's your new United States champion now via forfeit. All right, I'll take it. Better than Apollo Crews. No offense to Apollo by any means, but I've said it time and time again. He's a good wrestler. It's just his gimmick. They don't do anything with him. And once again, he's on the shelf, it looks like. So MVP, your new United States champion. So now maybe tomorrow night on Raw, Lashley's going to turn on MVP. Or in the weeks to come. Because MVP is going to put over Lashley as your new U.S. champion come SummerSlam. And speaking of SummerSlam, this summer, there's only one place to party. Escape to SummerSlam. WWE SummerSlam, Sunday, August the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So there's your SummerSlam promo for the next upcoming WWE pay-per-view a month from now, August the 23rd. We'll escape to SummerSlam. That looks to be the motto this year. Escape to SummerSlam, August the 23rd. I'll have live reactions, play-by-play. Be sure to tune in live right here on YouTube. And more so than not, it'll be in Orlando at the Performance Center with no crowd. Back to Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Samoa Joe. Next, it looks like it'll be Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins' eye for an eye match at the horror show at Extreme Rules. It's extreme and it will be horrific, says Tom Phillips, as we'll now get the video package for the eye for an eye Rey Mysterio Seth Rollins match coming up next, it looks like, at the horror show at Extreme Rules. Hashtag Extreme Rules when you share on social media. Once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. Thumbs up button, share on social media, chat questions and comments. Always greatly appreciated. Eye for an eye. Hashtag Extreme Rules. This feud's been going on for a few months now. As Rollins at one point, as we continue to see this video package, there's the Rollins Mysterio eye spot that they did on Raw, with Rollins smashing Mysterio's eye into the corner of the steel steps with his disciples Buddy Murphy and Austin Theory by his side. We have not seen Theory recently due to speaking out, but since then Mysterio's been wearing an eye patch on his right eye, so that means tonight, if Rollins wins, he's going to have to take out the left eye of Rey Mysterio. Buddy Murphy will be by Rollins' side. Dominic, Rey Mysterio's son, will be by his side. Kevin Owens, along with Aleister Black, in this feud as well, to some extent a little bit. And Mysterio working without a contract right now. It would make sense if he's going to leave to have Rollins win, even after Rollins has stood tall as of late on Monday Night Raw. But Mysterio's done the same, so who honestly knows what the hell's going to happen in this upcoming eye for an eye match, because the WWE's never done anything like this before, and the only way to win is to extract your opponent's eye from its socket. Seth Rollins with his new entrance music that I've sort of come to like over the past few months since he debuted at, I believe, Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken, against Drew McIntyre in the WWE Championship match. And then basically since then, he's been in a feud in this storyline with Rey Mysterio. So the only way to win is to extract your opponent's eye from its socket. Rollins has to take out the left eye because the right eye is already gone of Mysterio, storyline-wise with the eye patch. And then Mysterio can take out one, if not both, of Rollins' eyes. And honestly, as mentioned in my preview predictions, what'll happen towards the end of the match for the finish, the ref will be nearby, and they'll be throwing haymakers back and forth to their face. And Rollins, what does Rollins have? Rollins has a pair of pliers. Seth Rollins bringing a pair of pliers to the ring for this eye for an eye match against himself and Rey Mysterio. But the ref will be nearby. They'll be punching each other in the face. Somebody will go down. They'll come back up, holding their face. Blood will be gushing everywhere. And then the ref, as mentioned, he'll be, right there in the middle of all of it. And then they'll pan the camera, and there's going to be a fake eye laying in the middle of the ring. And that's how it'll end. So Seth Rollins, the Messiah, against the little big man himself, Mr. 619, on 7/19/20 today, Rey Mysterio. And they have the camera perfect for Mysterio to come from behind and attack Rollins to begin this match, because the camera is right on Rollins, and Mysterio is now in the ring behind him. Bell rings, match underway, drop kick from Rey. Rollins moves out of the way, rolls out of the ring, and Rollins now throwing. Nope, Mysterio backtracks, both off the ropes. Sling blade from Rollins, who's still wearing his jacket. Now he rips that off. Mysterio decked out in fluorescent yellow. No Dominic or Buddy Murphy just yet. I do believe Murphy, if Rollins loses, Murphy's going to get one of his eyes taken out rather than Rollins. It just makes more sense. But regardless, somebody after this match is going to be looking like Rooster Cogburn. Plain and simple. There's no other way around it. Hell, Mysterio already does to his right eye. So Rollins has to take out the left eye now if he wins. But yeah, they had that camera angle perfect. Normally when that is the case, when whoever comes out first is then in the ring, entrance music hits for the second person. Rollins on the middle turnbuckle, Mysterio with the pliers. Rollins moves out of the way, and okay, there's a toolbox on top of the table that Mysterio just pulled out underneath the ring. And Mysterio now, is that a crowbar? Looks like a crowbar. And now Rollins has a kendo stick right to the head of Rey Mysterio. Only way to win, hashtag eye for eye. Drop kick from Rey. Only way to win is to extract your opponent's eye from its socket. Mysterio off the ropes with a moonsault. Rollins catches him. Mysterio puts Rollins in position for a 619 once again. And Rollins once again moves out of the way. But yeah, that camera angle. Rollins on staring down the entrance ramp. Nothing, nobody coming out, and then Mysterio behind him. And the attack and match underway, and we have already seen a pair of pliers. What looks to be a crowbar. More so a piece of steel now. And then a kendo stick. Along with a table and a toolbox ringside. Falcon Arrow from Rollins to Mysterio on the ring apron. Hashtag eye for eye. It's the horror show at Extreme Rules. Only way to win. Pull out one, if not both, of your opponent's eyes. Mysterio with a goat t-shirt on. And, alright, Rollins going to the left eye now, right off the bat. Swamp Fight definitely going to be the main event now. No doubt about it. The co-main event would be McIntyre and Ziggler for the WWE Championship. And Rollins with that piece of steel. Mysterio moves out of the way and then right to the back. Side of the back of Mysterio now as Ray rolls into the ring with grabbing the kendo stick though in the meantime. And Rollins once again going to go for the steel steps, bashing the eye of Mysterio into the corner of the steel steps. Now Mysterio reverses. Mysterio right into the barricade now. Rollins rolling Ray into the ring, grabbing the kendo stick once again. And Rollins going to try to use a kendo stick to take out the left eye Rey Mysterio. Off the ropes. Sliding underneath the bottom rope now goes Ray on top of the table. And Ray in some pain. You son of a bitch, says Rey Mysterio. Rollins with a kick. Ray basically did a... Rollins grabbing a steel chair now, telling the people in the timekeeper's area to get out of the way. Mysterio basically did a belly flop, sliding underneath the bottom rope onto the table. And now Rollins trying to use the bottom of the steel chair, bottom of the legs of the steel chair to take out the eye of Rey Mysterio. Mysterio now with that same chair right to the midsection of Rollins. Good match so far, good event as a whole so far. Rollins moves out of the way. Mysterio hits the announce desk with the steel chair. Yeah, why don't you use Tom Phillips or Byron Saxton's phone for the hell of it? And Rollins just took Samoa Joe's pen, and now, yeah, what the hell is that? Rollins just grabbed something out of the toolbox. And, alright, ref checking in on Seth Rollins, and Rollins holding his face, both eyes still intact. Both eyes still intact. Rollins went for... He just sort of walked towards him, and then Mysterio tripped him and fell, and Rollins went face first in the corner of the announce table. Mysterio now trying to use the bottom of the steel chair to the eye of Rollins. Now Mysterio looking into that toolbox once again. Rollins though in the meantime with the steel chair shot to the back. Crowd into it tonight. You got to give them credit. It's still not the same, but it is better than nothing. Rollins now looking in the toolbox. There's a lot of duct tape. And now Rollins grabbing some rope, it looks like. More so a basketball net by the looks of it. And Rollins tying up Rey Mysterio's left hand to the bottom of the bottom rope. Mysterio with a kick. Mysterio throws Rollins into the steel post. I would think this match is going to end in the ring, but I mean, they've been fighting ringside for most of the match up to this point so far. So, as mentioned, I would think the finish is going to be how I sort of explained it during my previous predictions and just a few moments ago, with whoever is going to lose an eye hold their face, and then blood starts gushing, and the ref in the meantime is nearby and throws a fake eye down. Rollins with a kendo stick. Can we get a hammer involved in this? Or a chainsaw or something like that? About screwdriver.
This encounter, Rollins wiping at his right eye, which went into the corner of our announce desk earlier on.
Rollins going up top, shoving that kendo stick into the steel post. So most of that kendo stick sticking out. And Mysterio's on the ring apron. Rollins in the ring, separated by the ropes. And Rollins gonna walk and now run, throwing Mysterio face first. Nope, Mysterio reverses. He was gonna try to use a kendo stick to take the eye out. And now Mysterio grabs that kendo stick. Ray going up top. Ray off the ropes. Seth goes spinning, drop kick from Ray. Ray gonna go up top once again, maybe for a frog splash. Frog splash connects on Seth Rollins. Rollins feeling that one for sure. Share on social media, hashtag eye for eye, hashtag Extreme Rules. It's the horror show at Extreme Rules. It's an eye for an eye match right now. Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. Slow clap from the crowd. And Mysterio going after the eyes of Rollins. Mysterio shoved into the corner now. Big boot from Ray. Alright. Rollins, Ray went up. Rollins could have power bombed him, but then Ray rolled it through and they both go down and out. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. That was a little weird. Rollins now going for a super kick maybe. Or the stomp. And Rollins misses on the stomp as Ray moves out of the way. DDT from Rey Mysterio. This is by far, I think, the best match of the night so far. A replay of that DDT. Come on, you son of a bitch, says Rey Mysterio. Kendo stick, but then Rollins from behind with a right hand. And then Ray now on the shoulders of Rollins. Kendo stick right to the face. And then Rollins neck first into the barricade, the top of the barricade, and the plexiglass that they have. Seth Rollins or Rey Mysterio, eye for an eye. Another replay of Ray rolling that through, and then face first, neck first once again into the top of the barricade. Mysterio sliding underneath the bottom rope, and then replay machine during this match. replay. As it just did, it looks like. So, sorry for any technical difficulties. WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. It's an eye for an eye with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. And the kendo stick is in the eye of Seth Rollins. Rollins rolls through, rolls in the ring. He's holding his face. And Rey staring him down. Rey with a 619 to Seth Rollins. Rollins now laying ringside. And once again, sorry for any technical difficulties. Hopefully, knock on wood, will be good on the playback. Rollins ringside, Mysterio sitting on the ring apron. Now walking around. And it looks like Mysterio, nope, Rollins reverses, has Mysterio in a headlock. Somebody's going to come from behind, run down the entrance ramp. Stomp from Mysterio to Rollins. Mysterio using Rollins' finisher on him. But it looked like Mysterio was going to go for the, right before the stomp. This is for the same maneuver that Rollins did to him, taking out his right eye. And then Mysterio rips off the patch and his right eye is still there. He's had his right eye this whole entire time. We've known that, but still. So it does look like Mysterio is going to do the same thing to Rollins as what Rollins did to Mysterio to take out his eye. Right into the corner of the steel step. And yes, that is how this match will end. Nope. A low blow. Rollins reverses it. Kicks Mysterio for a low blow. And Rollins' eye still there. So this match will continue. The only way to win is to extract your opponent's eye from its socket. Super kick from Rollins right to the front of the face into the barricade of Rey Mysterio. Rollins starting to bleed a little bit, though, it looks like, from his right eye. Rollins going to go for a stomp now here, it looks like, ringside. Stomp to Mysterio. What is the Messiah going to do? You did this to yourself, Rey. Rollins picking up Rey Mysterio. I would think Dominic or Murphy's Rollins going to do the same thing to Mysterio's. They didn't call for the bell by any means just yet, but however, due to the disconnect and then the reconnect, in that meantime, they do call for the bell. And Rey Mysterio loses another eye. Seth Rollins, your winner. And now Rollins throwing up. Seth Rollins is throwing up. Like, literally throwing up. Like, that's not fake by any means. Rollins is throwing up ringside. As they walk, as Dominic's now there as well, as they walk Mysterio up the ramp in a losing effort against Seth Rollins. Rollins extracts the eye of Rey Mysterio. We're gonna rewind that for a second and catch that finish once again here. Once this officially ends. And Rollins being booed out of the building by everyone in attendance. He literally just puked. Like, that was not fake. So the match ended ringside by the steel steps, just where this feud had began. As they fade to black into a commercial break for the WWE Undertaker Last Ride series. The Undertaker will tell his tales after the horror show at Extreme Rules. And that's going to be can't miss. That's going to be something to watch. Just because it's going to be the last ride tales of the Dead Man for the final episode of the Last Ride docu-series. And okay, so they promote Undertaker the Last Ride, Tales from the Dead Man. That'll be tonight, immediately following the WWE Horror Show at Extreme Rules pay-per-view on the WWE Network. Hashtag Extreme Rules. As they talk a little bit about Seth Rollins or Mysterio now. But Rollins your winner, as thought, because it looks like Mysterio is in fact going to be going away and be done with the WWE once again, as he's been working without a contract. So, as mentioned in my preview predictions and earlier tonight, it would make more sense if that was the case, to have Rollins go over and win. So now Bayley backstage. We'll see what happens here. Caleb Braxton about ready to interview Bayley, as she is still your SmackDown Women's Champion, still one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions as well.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of Rey Mysterio.
And now Bayley giving her condolences, it looks like, saying that she was a big fan of Rey growing up. And Rey is once again going to have a long road ahead of him. But, yeah, Rollins victorious over Rey Mysterio. And, of course, Bayley turns it back on herself. Typical heel. Great heel, though. And Bayley's going to take over this interview. She rips the mic out of Caleb Braxton's hand and introduces the other half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, the legit boss. It's boss time, Michael Cole, Sasha Banks. Asuka and Sasha Banks still to come for the Raw Women's title. So we'll, coming up here, rewind this back to the ending of that match, due to the fact during that match as well, technical difficulties, disconnecting and then asking to reconnect as it does. Well, we might have to wait on that. We might have to wait, because it looks like coming up next, it'll be the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Wyatt, Swamp Fight, Braun Strowman, and Bray Wyatt. And then what? Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler is going to main event? Hashtag Extreme Rules. We won't rewind now. And hopefully we'll get a replay later on in the evening, as we have the video package now for the Wyatt Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman and the returning Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is the Eater of the Worlds, is Firefly Funhouse, and also is the Fiend. But yes, what had happened there, as Rollins did what he did to Mysterio to begin with, to start this feud, eye to the corner of the steel steps, it disconnected, reconnected. At that point, I had said, and I believe it caught it, okay, we see some AEW stars during this video package as well, with Braun Strowman taking out Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley, along with obviously Luke Harper, now Brody Lee, formerly in the Wyatt family, with Bray Wyatt, Eric Rowan, who's been released since as well, and Braun Strowman. But I believe it caught it on the tail end of that. But I very well could be wrong. I'd have to go back and obviously listen and watch the playback of it. But that's why I pause and take a second for it to recatch itself and then say whatever I've just said. But regardless, yes, Braun Strowman looks like he just saw a ghost when Bray Wyatt, Eater of Worlds, returned on SmackDown. But nonetheless, they didn't call for the bell at that point. And then as soon as it reconnected, they rang the bell. So the match at that point was over. Rollins defeats Mysterio, and then they pan to Seth Rollins literally puking his guts out ringside. So maybe that's why this is next, to get that cleaned up rather than have another match. But probably not, but it is what it is. I would think this is going to be the main event, but obviously they want to have it in the middle of the show. Okay, so be it. And then I would think it's going to be Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler in the main event, unless they're going to have Asuka, Sasha, and then Asuka win, and then Sasha turn on Bayley to close it out, or vice versa, Bayley turn on Sasha. Run. Hashtag Extreme Rules. Coming up next, it looks like it'll be Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt in the Wyatt Swamp Fight. Braun is going home. Okay, Swamp Fight still to come. Still to come. So that, hopefully, knock on wood, will still be the main event. Swamp Fight still to come. So they just run the video package. They run that vignette promoting the Swamp Fight later on tonight. As Braun Strowman will be going home. Speak of the Devil with Asuka and Sasha Banks. And that's coming up next. So we'll get the other Women's Championship match now out of the way. Asuka alongside Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka about ready to defend her Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks. So I think Bayley's also going to be ringside for Sasha, as Sasha was ringside for her during Bayley's SmackDown Women's Championship match against Nikki Cross. So later on tonight, still to come, the Wyatt Swamp Fight. Now just a Swamp Fight, as it was promoted. So a Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Braun's going home. We'll get more into that later on tonight. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Cool Hand Luke 96. This is in fact my WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules live stream, a live reaction play-by-play live stream. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Hit the thumbs up button, share on social media, hashtag WWE, hashtag The Horror Show, hashtag Extreme Rules. Chat questions and comments, always greatly appreciated as well. Hey, Michael Cole, guess what? It's boss time. Actually, it's Ross time on Wednesday nights for AEW Dynamite with Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, etc. for the 10,000 nicknames, Mr. Nickname of AEW, the 10,000 nicknames that good old JR has for Jungle Boy, but nonetheless, Asuka, Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship coming up next, right now, at Extreme Rules. Rey Mysterio loses his eye. Yes, in fact, he did. See if we can get any more details on that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a replay. We normally do for most of the matches towards the end of the event. But Asuka, Sasha Banks right now for the Raw Women's title.
Bliss attempted to be in the corner of Nikki Cross earlier on tonight. Byron, as we saw, the conclusion of the SmackDown Women's Championship match earlier on tonight, fairly controversial considering the involvement of Sasha Banks, helping Bayley retain.
Bell rings, match underway. Asuka and Sasha. Raw Women's title. They lock up. Asuka pushing Sasha into the corner.
Sasha Banks and Bayley tonight. If Sasha Banks is successful, Bayley and Sasha will complete their takeover of WWE and the women's division.
I guarantee you that Asuka right now has a lot of fans, and not only the Raw locker room and women's division, as well as SmackDown, but there's a lot of superstars who do not want to see Sasha Banks and Bayley walking around with all the gold. Well, let's be honest, the one thing that Sasha Banks and Bayley have taken advantage of is because they're women's tag team champions, they can go to any brand of WWE. They've been on Raw, NXT, and SmackDown as of late. So that opportunity allowed Banks to go and challenge Asuka for the title.
Well, absolutely. Maximizing the championship advantage. These ladies have found an opportunity and they're making the most.
Sasha Banks, a four-time Raw Women's Champion in her own right, two-time Tag Team Champion, former NXT Champion. Oh, that's right. Spin in the canvas.
Sasha Banks has spearhead the women's evolution, which just celebrated its 5-year anniversary.
Reconnecting during the Asuka-Sasha Banks match. Checking social media as well. Sasha with a cover. One kick out by Asuka right off the bat. Sasha has put the Banks trying to figure this out as we go, as usual, as always. Don't honestly know why it does this, but it does it. So it is what it is. Obviously, I have a few things connected to Wi-Fi right now with watching Extreme Rules, but normally it's not like this, but as of late, the past month or so, it's been going in and out, disconnecting, asking to reconnect, and then hopefully, as always, on the playback, it'll work itself out and it'll be all good to go. But it's technology. It's good, but it also sucks at the same time sometimes. So it is what it is. Hopefully it'll be good in the end. So technical difficulties, if you're just now tuning in, it buffers, disconnects, reconnects, and then basically starts over, even though the stream continues, if that makes sense. So I'll just have to look into it, and there's not really a whole lot to look at. So hopefully it'll be good, but as soon as I say that, it does it again. So maybe I probably should turn off some of these and then go from there. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. But like I said, it is what it is. It does it sometimes, and there's nothing really you can do. It's technology. It's the Wi-Fi. So, but like I said, it's normally never like this unless I'm streaming like this. And then at that point, it just does its thing. I mean, for the most part, it didn't start doing it until the last match. But then it only did it once or twice there, and then now it's a few times more. But at least it's, and no offense to either Asuka or Sasha Banks, but at least it's only doing it during this match, and not during, say, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, or the Wyatt Swamp fight. We could very well have a match added now that we're not going to have a United States Championship match. Say they, throw in Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, rather than have that on SmackDown this week. Because we've already had the New Day and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the second of 2 women's championship matches. We were supposed to have Apollo Crews MVP for the U.S. title. We still have the Swamp Fight and the WWE Championship match. And we just witnessed the Eye for an Eye match. So, as far as I know, that's it. Then the WWE Championship match, followed by the main event of the evening and the Wyatt Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. So, I mean, you would think it'd be Jeff Hardy, Sheamus if they would add one, or maybe have another backstage segment, as we've seen a few interviews tonight, and then the promo with MVP, winning the MVP, the new United States Championship that MVP debuted on Raw a few weeks back. That will be the main United States Championship moving forward. But via forfeit, because Apollo Crews wasn't able to compete, MVP's your new U.S. champ. And he just got a promo during that, so we'll see what happens. Maybe another promo for SummerSlam, or the Swamp Fight later on tonight. Maybe they'll announce the rumored, and I would think they're going to hold off and wait, but they might announce the rumored event that's going to be taking place the weekend after SummerSlam, about a month and a half from now, on August the 29th or 30th. So we'll see what that is, but Horror Show at Extreme Rules tonight. We'll have Raws, NXTs, and SmackDowns for the next few weeks as normal. A rumored NXT TakeOver event the night before SummerSlam on August the 22nd, and then WWE SummerSlam 2020 on August the 23rd. And I'll have live reactions all over the place, so be sure to tune back in. Asuka and Sasha Banks right now. Raw Women's Championship on the line. And if anybody is having technical difficulties, please let me know. I know technical difficulties are or have been an issue as of late for the past month or so, as mentioned, but there's not really anything you can do. It buffers, and it just takes a second to get back to itself. So we roll on, and later on tonight we'll be rolling on down into the swamp. We're going to be going down the swamp with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Code breaker from Asuka to Sasha Banks from the middle rope in the corner. Another good match. Honestly, all these matches tonight, in my opinion at least, everybody has their own opinion. In my opinion at least, all these matches tonight, including how the promo by MVP, alongside Lashley, with him announcing that he is your new United States champion via forfeit from Apollo Crews, that was even good. So, honestly, this might be one of the best, knock on wood, depending on what happens with the WWE Championship and Swamp Fight match later on, that are still to come. Dolph Ziggler is going to announce a stipulation for that, hopefully shortly. This might be one of the best WWE pay-per-views as of late, potentially in the year 2020, all year long so far, up to this point, 7.5 months in before SummerSlam next month. So, I mean, I get the circumstances with the pandemic and everything with COVID-19, but and hopefully everyone's staying safe. But the WWE that is, and along with All Elite Wrestling AEW, everybody's done their best that they possibly can. With all the circumstances, with what everybody is up against. Because the show goes on. The show must go on. Sasha with a power bomb to Asuka into the plexiglass above the ring apron. Now Sasha off the top rope with a frog splash to Asuka. Cover 1, 2, and Asuka kicks out at 2.5. Bank statement once again locked in on Asuka. Sasha had this locked in on Asuka earlier in this match during the first buffer and disconnect, and then reconnect during this match. Asuka now crawling for the bottom rope though. And Asuka grabs that bottom rope break.
Transition immediately into the bank statement. You know, if we were scoring this thing, I have no doubt in my mind that Sasha Banks would be good.
Sasha says she's the greatest ever. Now, just now. Sasha's honestly not that good. It's just people like her. She's a fan favorite, one of the fan favorites. And Bayley was as well for the longest time. And that's why her, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. Now Becky's the man now though, and about ready to become a mom. 1, 2, and kick out at 2.5. They go back 5 years with the women's evolution that they have been talking about for the past week or so. As it's been 5 years this past week since that happened. But nonetheless, Bayley and Sasha just have always been fan favorites since they've been in NXT, and that's why people like them. They're honestly, but Bayley as of late, since October, since she became now the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley's gotten better. Because she's damn good on the mic. She's a great heel. And that's what they need. And going back to an eye for an eye with Rollins and Mysterio, Rollins has to be one of the top heels in the company right now, too. He's one of the top guys on Raw, no doubt about it. Up there with McIntyre and Randy Orton. Along with Kevin Owens. I mean, the writing's on the wall, if you don't see it. But another kick out by Sasha at 2.5. So, and Asuka from the get-go, coming from New Japan, she's always been a dominant force. However, as of late, and I just thought about this the other day, we haven't seen Nia Jax recently. We have not seen Nia Jax at all, I don't think, since Backlash. Drop kick off the top rope from Asuka, and then a kick out at 2. A replay of that drop kick, and Asuka actually missed on that because Sasha moved out of the way. My bad. And then a kick out by Asuka at 2.5. So Sasha with the pin. Slow clap. 3 count from the official.
Superstars in the world today, Asuka.
Asuka standing on the middle rope in the corner. Sasha now up on the top turnbuckle. And a few right hands to Asuka. Asuka just sitting up there laughing. Sasha gonna go for a moonsault here, maybe. Asuka with her right hand. Asuka from the middle rope. Sasha literally standing on the top turnbuckle. And oh, jeez. Sasha rolled that through right at the, and then a double knee in the corner, right at the right time, because if not, she might have just broken her neck. And that's a botch, and that's why she doesn't deserve to be a champion. Now, that might have been planned, but it did look like she was going to go for a splash from the middle turnbuckle, and then she caught herself. Her foot tripped, and now she's laying down in the ring holding her left knee. She might seriously be injured, but we'll see how this ends. This might be a ploy. And Sasha tells the ref no, yells at her no, get out of my face. Cuckoo versus Asuka at Extreme Rules. Sasha, I have to be the champ. Armbar locked in. Asuka reverses though. Has Sasha in a headlock. Bayley now up on the ring apron. Kairi Sane from behind though with the attack. So Bayley and Kairi Sane now fighting ringside. Something just fell out of somebody's pocket. Bayley to belly from Bayley. And then Sasha rolls it up 1-2 and Asuka rolls it through 1-2 in the ring, of course. And then Sasha from behind, Asuka falls down. Another quick roll up 1-2. And that should have been 3. I don't know why the ref quit counting. And now Asuka has Sasha in the Asuka lock in the middle of the ring. And then Bayley throws something in the ring. She throws a title in the ring. And now ref distracted. Here comes Bayley with another championship title of hers. And then Asuka with a kick to the side of the head of Bayley. So the distraction doesn't work for Bayley and Sasha Banks. All 3 women down and out. Yeah, it looked like Sasha was going to tap, and then Bayley was going to throw in the towel, as Taz did this past week for Brian Cage against Jon Moxley before Darby Allin returned. Now Sasha grabbing that title. So the ref face-to-face with Sasha Banks talking about the title. Asuka from behind, though. So Asuka using the ref as a distraction, but then Asuka with the green mist as Sasha moves out of the way, spits and sprays the face of the official. And now here comes Asuka with another Asuka lock, but Bayley from behind with another title shot right to the back of the head of Asuka. So Asuka and Sasha down and out. Bayley ripping the official's shirt off. Bayley putting the official shirt on. Bayley's now the ref. And Sasha's going to roll over, cover Asuka as Bayley's your official. 1, 2, 3. Sasha Banks is your new Raw Women's Champion. Ring the frickin' bell, says Bayley. 1, 2, 3. Sasha Banks wins. But they're going to say no. Okay, so they ring the bell. And the tag team of Bayley and Sasha Banks now hold all the women's titles, all the women's championships in the WWE, other than the NXT Women's Championship that is held by Io Shirai. Bayley's still your SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha's your new Raw Women's Champion, and they are, as a tag team, your women's tag team champs. What is going on, says Byron Saxton. I was thinking maybe, okay, another official will come down, but no, that wasn't the case. So now comes SummerSlam. If they are going to have Sasha or Bayley turn on one another, it'll be the demise of them, lose all the championships, but then you go back to a dual women's champion for both Raw and SmackDown, and have it just as the WWE Women's Championship rather than a Raw and a SmackDown Women's Championship as they've had in the past. So go back to 1 rather than 2 as Bayley and Sasha celebrate. As Bayley became the official towards the end of the match, and 1, 2, 3, Sasha your winner. And Bayley and Sasha Banks are your Raw, SmackDown, and Women's Tag Team Champions now. So maybe if Kairi Sane's going to stick around for a little bit now too, or if she does leave, we'll see what happens there. Maybe, okay, you have the Iconics, you have Asuka, you have Asuka and Kairi Sane, along with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So the Iconics, Kabuki Warriors, and Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross as 3 women's tag teams that could challenge for potentially in a fatal 4-way for Bayley and Sasha's women's tag team championships. And then, you figure out what you're going to do with the Raw and SmackDown women's championships now as well, with Bayley, your SmackDown women's champion, and Sasha, your new Raw women's champion, after defeating Asuka just moments ago during the horror show at Extreme Rules. So once again, thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm your host, Encyclopedia Sports, Coolhead Luke96. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. The thumbs up button. Share hashtag WWE, hashtag the horror show, hashtag Extreme Rules. Chat questions and comments, always greatly appreciated as well. Still to come though, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. The Ziggler gets to pick the stipulation, and it looks like that'll be next in the co-main event of the evening, as we have Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Samoa Joe still on commentary. And then the main event of the evening with the Wyatt Swamp fight, featuring the Universal Champion and Braun Strowman and the returning Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. And now it looks like as well we'll get a interview potentially with Charlie Caruso backstage at the doctor trainer room. And Mysterio being treated for some big doctor term. Everything in his eye is damaged, storyline wise. And we'll have more updates and developments later on, I guess. So no replay of what happened, but Seth Rollins defeated Rey Mysterio earlier in the eye for an eye match, if you're just now tuning in. The horror show at Extreme Rules. We're about to get Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, 2 former tag team partners, battle out for the WWE Championship in a stipulation unknown at this point. We'll find out from Dolph Ziggler momentarily, but first we'll get the video package for the WWE Championship match with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler tonight at the horror show at Extreme Rules. And this goes back to April, WrestleMania 36, Night 2, and the main event in which Drew McIntyre defeated the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, to become your new WWE Champion. So this pay-per-view, as it's 10 till 9 right now, and we have this match along with Swamp Fight still to come. This will be over by probably, I would think, 5-10 after, at the latest. And then by 9:30, the horror show at Extreme Rules will be done and over with. It'll be a 2.5 hour pay-per-view. They'll close it out. They'll end with the horror show main event of the Wyatt Swamp Fight. Reconnecting for the 1000th time. You know what? We're just going to sit back, watch the conclusion of the horror show at Extreme Rules now. If it buffers, it buffers. If it has to reconnect, I'll reconnect it as I normally do. But there's nothing I can do if I'm having technical difficulties right now, if it keeps going. So it is what it is. It's better rather than to stop it and then start it up all again and edit and do what you got to do to get it to this point. As tonight's been a good pay-per-view event for the WWE. The horror show at Extreme Rules. Dolph Ziggler is about ready to pick the stipulation for the upcoming WWE Championship match. And McIntyre actually is allowing him to pick the stipulation. We'll see what happens. Dolph Ziggler, the show-off himself, is here to show the world that he is going to lose once again on a WWE pay-per-view in a championship match, this time against Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. It's probably going to be something we've seen 10 million times. However, I honestly really want to be surprised, as mentioned in my preview predictions. Honestly, really want to be surprised if it's something brand new that we've never ever seen before for the stipulation, that is. So, we'll see. The Chosen One, the Scottish Psychopath, the current WWE Champion, Drew McIntyre, now making his appearance. McIntyre about ready to defend against a former tag team partner of his in Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler telling the ref to do his job, get McIntyre off, back him up a little bit. And Ziggler telling Mike Rome, hey, introduce us, but then I'm going to tell you the stipulation. This is a WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler. And now Ziggler takes the mic.
You made a big mistake, Drew.
Drew, you made a big mistake. What's the stipulation going to be?
And let me pick the stipulation afterwards, and everybody wants to know what it is, so here it is. This WWE title match will be Extreme Rules.
This will be an Extreme Rules match for the WWE Championship now. An Extreme Rules match for the WWE Championship for Dolph Ziggler only. So McIntyre's not going to be able to use anything extreme for this horror show Extreme Rules WWE Championship match.
And you purposely get disqualified for giving a man like Dolph Ziggler the ability to pick this stipulation. If Drew McIntyre just let go of the WWE Championship in the last time, this is the arrogance of McIntyre coming back to bite him.
And sorry for any technical difficulties this evening. An Extreme Rules match only for Ziggler. McIntyre uses anything at all, he gets disqualified. Ziggler's your new WWE champion. That won't happen though. They'll make Ziggler, they'll make McIntyre look as strong as possible against Ziggler. Shot from Drew in the chest of Ziggler in the corner. They'll make him look as strong as possible. He won't. And McIntyre going to go for a Claymore here. He won't need to use anything to win, rather than Ziggler using everything in the book to win. But he's not going to win. McIntyre is going to retain here. McIntyre is going to still be your WWE champion after this match that just got underway. So, as mentioned, bell rings, match underway. Hashtag Extreme Rules, and it's an Extreme Rules match only for Dolph Ziggler. That's the stipulation. And Ziggler now looking underneath the ring for something. He's got a steel chair. And McIntyre grabs it from him, rips it from his hands. Drew uses it. He gets disqualified. He gets DQ'd. He loses. Dolph goes for a super kick. Drew catches him, throws him out of the ring. And now another chop to the chest. Ziggler's chest is already beat red. Drew gonna go for another chop. Dolph with a few right hands in the stomach. Off the ropes. Kick to Drew. Clothesline from McIntyre to Ziggler, sending him ringside. Drew into the steel post face first. Now shoulders into the plexiglass by the barricade face first into the steel post once again. Ziggler looking underneath the ring for something else. He's got a table. We've seen a lot of tables this evening. We had a tables match, and then during one of the other matches as well, somebody got a table out. Oh, that was the Mysterio Rollins. Mysterio got the table out with toe blocks on. That's right. And now another table. But this is legal for Ziggler. McIntyre used it. He gets disqualified. He gets DQ'd. Vertical suplex ringside, not on and through the table though for Drew. And Drew, damn it, if he would have used it, yeah, he would have been DQ'd and lost. But goes the opposite way. Vertical suplex to the floor to Dolph Ziggler. The chosen one, the Scottish Psychopath, Drew McIntyre, WWE champion, with a power bomb to Drew McIntyre. To Dolph Ziggler, excuse me. Kick out at 2.5. McIntyre with that power bomb to Ziggler. Hashtag Extreme Rules once again. It's an Extreme Rules match only for Dolph Ziggler. That is, in fact, the stipulation that he chose. And this evening as well, thunderstorms in the area, so that very well could be a reason why it's been buffering and then disconnecting and reconnecting more than usual. A low blow from Ziggler to Drew McIntyre. Legal though. And as we see a replay of that real quick. They're on it tonight in the truck for all the replays. Dolph Ziggler now with about 4 steel chairs. Sets one up, grabs another, whacks McIntyre across the back and into the midsection, across the back once again. 3rd time's a charm. Number 4 will make it 5. and half a dozen right to the back of Drew McIntyre. But then the neck of Drew was, and that's a steel chair shot right to the face, right to the head of McIntyre. I'm surprised they let Ziggler do that. Kick out at 2. And it was more so to the left shoulder than to the front of the face, the head of Drew McIntyre, your WWE champion, but still. And then the last steel chair shot across the back, Drew was on his knees a little bit, about ready to stand up. And his neck was right on the back of the steel chair that was set up in the ring, and his neck got caught, so he's been holding his neck. Look out, Phillips. Ziggler goes flying into the announce desk as Drew McIntyre picked him up and threw him into Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, and Samoa Joe. More so to the front of the announce table, and then he rolled through back to where the chairs are at. And now, hey, you might as well rip it apart because there's not going to be any more matches after this. In the WWE Performance Center, that is, because the cinematic Black Swamp fight is coming up next. So you might as well rip apart the announce table as Samoa Joe just casually stands in the background, propped up against the barricade, just looking on. Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler on the announce table, and Ziggler with a kick and a zigzag. 5 count. Make that a 6 from the official John Cone to Drew McIntyre. 7, 8, 9. Ziggler and McIntyre both back in the ring. The Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Hashtag WWE. Hashtag the Horror Show. Hashtag Extreme Rules when you share on social media. Chat questions and comments, always greatly appreciated as well. Big right hand from Drew. Drew now climbing to the top rope. Ziggler moves out of the way. Ziggler now on the back of McIntyre with a headlock locked in. Replay of the clothesline that Drew just hit on Dolph Ziggler. Drew's sitting on the ring apron. Dolph into the plexiglass. That's all right, buddy.
But it's also valuable time for Ziggler because McIntyre still has to pick up Ziggler's line. That's why Drew McIntyre's out there, Joe. Now tosses Ziggler back inside.
Ziggler rolled back into the ring. I would think they're about ready to go home. This match is about over. But it is an Extreme Rules match only for Dolph Ziggler, so, you know, maybe they'll let it play out for a little bit. Now Drew. 3, 2, 1. Gonna go for a Claymore kick, it looks like. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Claymore kick, and then Ziggler hits a zigzag, followed 1, 2, kick out by Drew. Hits Drew with a steel chair outside the left knee, and then a zigzag in the ring as he did ringside earlier. And a kick out by Drew too. Let's go Drew, freshly squeezed. Dolph's gonna lose. There's a few different chants you could take out of that. Dolph thrown ringside.
And I don't know how advantageous this is for Drew McIntyre having Dolph Ziggler on the outside, because that is where he's at his most dangerous.
And you see how wide it is. McIntyre's done this several times in the match now. Every time Dolph Ziggler's on the
Super kick from Dolph. Drew's now laying on the table that is ringside. Drew's going to move out of the way. Dolph's going to hit an elbow and go through the table himself. And Drew doesn't move out of the way, and Ziggler hits the elbow from the top of the steel post through McIntyre, excuse me, Ziggler does, through the table. 1 count now. 2. An elbow drop from the top of the steel post through McIntyre through the table. And Drew, along with Ziggler, down and out ringside. 6 count now from the official. 7. Who's going to beat the count? 9. Drew McIntyre's in the ring. Ziggler doesn't have to get back in the ring because it's an Extreme Rules match only for him. I mean, if Drew would have got counted out, though, he would have still retained his championship, though, right? You would think. Big headbutt from McIntyre. Ziggler now in the 619 position on the bottom rope, even though Mysterio did a few of those to Rollins earlier in the eye for an eye. Another famouser from Ziggler, and then a zigzag for the 3rd time. And rock bottom onto the steel chair from Ziggler to McIntyre. Cover 1, 2, and Drew kicks out at 2.5. Good sequence. Yeah, good sequence before the Ziggler. Why won't you die to McIntyre? But yeah, a good sequence before the kick out on the pin. Ziggler with a steel chair just chucks it into the plexiglass. It would think a super kick, but Drew's going to reverse it into a Claymore. As Dolph now throwing all the steel chairs that he put in the ring, he's throwing them out of the ring. Yeah, Dolph going to go for a super kick. Tune up the band a little bit. And Drew kips up Claymore from McIntyre on the reversal. Cover 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre defeats and retains his WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler here tonight at the Horror Show at Extreme Rules. Good match. All these matches tonight have been good. I know I've been saying a lot, but it's true. McIntyre. And what I say, I just called that. I said Ziggler's going to go for a super kick, and it's going to be a reversal by Drew into Claymore, and that's exactly what happened. And Drew 1, 2, 3, your winner. I mean, it's not that hard to see. Still to come, though, coming up next, it'll be the Wyatt Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. The first ever Wyatt Swamp Fight. As McIntyre stands tall, your winner over Dolph Ziggler. As mentioned earlier, I would think it's going to be McIntyre Orton at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship, but we'll see. Orton has to go through the big show tomorrow night on Raw on unsanctioned match, so maybe in the closing minutes of that match tomorrow night in the main event of Raw, or even, you know, starting next week, then plant the seeds, then, you know, go from there. But you still get McIntyre Orton at SummerSlam. So Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, a non-title match. A non-title Wyatt Swamp Fight. We'll get the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, and then the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, at SummerSlam as well, you would think, for the Universal Championship. But we'll see what happens there as well. But to move forward a little bit, you got to take a few steps back, as Bray Wyatt has said to the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman, after he returned as the Eater of Worlds. It's Bray's duty. It is Bray Wyatt's duty to make sure that Braun Strowman, as we get another SummerSlam promo for SummerSlam next month, this summer, there's only one place to partake. They need to figure out what they're doing with Otis and the Money in the Bank as well. Escape to SummerSlam, WWE SummerSlam 2020, Sunday, August the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The normal weekend for SummerSlam. However, last year, it's going to seem like 2 weeks later this year because SummerSlam last year in Toronto was mid-August. It's not normally until the 3rd or 4th week of August, depending on how the calendar falls. So yeah, it might seem a little bit later this year compared to last year, but that's just how the schedule worked out. So SummerSlam, August the 23rd. I'll have live reactions, play. Be sure to tune in. Also keep an eye out for my WWE SummerSlam preview predictions, and then be sure to tune in WWE SummerSlam live reactions, play live right here on YouTube. Michael Cole, Corey Graves on commentary for what's left of the announce table. But coming up next, it'll be the first ever Wyatt Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. The monster, Braun Strowman, is returning home to the swamp where Bray Wyatt conceived him back in the summer. I believe it was 2015, 2016. As in 16, that's when Matt Hardy started all these cinematic type matches with the final deletions. And then the WWE had a Wyatt family compound match. And then Bray faced Orton in that House of Horrors. And then up until recently, we've got the Boneyard, Firefly Funhouse, the Money in the Bank, for that matter. But now, hashtag Swamp Fight, we have Bray Wyatt sitting in his chair on a gravel road as a truck is pulling up. And Braun Strowman is the driver of that truck. As we see some flashbacks to the Wyatt family. Braun now getting out of his truck. Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Worlds, still sitting in his rocking chair in the middle of the road. A cinematic match main eventing the horror show at Extreme Rules. The first ever Wyatt Swamp Fight with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. And we've had among other cinematic type matches as well since, but nonetheless, we'll have to see how this goes tonight. And Braun Strowman walks up to Bray, says, "I'm home," and the lights go out with a Bray Wyatt laugh. Lights come back on. Bray is nowhere to be found. And now we're going to be going down to the swamp. We're going to be fighting into the woods. Hashtag swamp fight. Abandon all hope. Braun picks up that rocking chair, throws it into a tree. Bray Wyatt laugh in the background. Braun's just gonna fall to laugh, and eventually he's gonna run into the Eater of Worlds. Bray Wyatt. We'll probably get Husky Harris and Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt tonight in this match at some point too, I think. But to close it out, I believe Bray Wyatt's gonna win because it's a Wyatt family swamp fight match, for God's sakes. Like, there's no way in hell Bray Wyatt's going to lose a cinematic type match with his own name in it, for God's sakes. And then afterwards, even if Bray wins or loses, the Fiend's going to emerge, and that's going to set up Braun and Bray for SummerSlam. Now we go to the Firefly Funhouse with Bray Wyatt cheering on Braun Strowman. Bray Wyatt attacking now. Actually, that's somebody else. Bray was in on it for a second, but now this is somebody else having Braun in a headlock. But then Braun gets rid of him. Braun to Bray, show your damn face. Bray Wyatt with a shovel to the back of Braun Strowman. And Braun acting as he's seen a ghost, and it's Braun Strowman looking at the black sheep, Braun Strowman. The black sheep, Braun Strowman, just hit Braun Strowman with a shovel across the back. Braun has seen a ghost. Run. They fade to black once again. Now we have a light in the tunnel. And it's Braun Strowman just sitting there, sleeping, it looks like. And he's locked up. Braun Strowman's chained up in a chair. And there's the old Eric Rowan sheep mask with some laughter in the background. Maybe Rowan will have a part in this, since they brought back Heath Slater a few weeks back. I doubt it, but you never know. Now just a lot of stuff that you would see in a sinister type movie. Now the old Bray Wyatt theme song as he walks up to the shack that Braun Strowman's in, chained to the rocking chair. Bray Wyatt doing his old Wyatt family entrance with his lamp. Old Wyatt theme playing in the background as well. Run, he'll shut it off. Blow out the light. I wonder where they filmed this at. I would think somewhere in Florida, potentially nearby where they filmed the Boneyard match. But we've had a lot of cinematic type matches since March, but due to circumstances, it's understandable. Get me out of these chains, you bastards, says Braun Strowman. This is good so far. I'm home, or welcome home, Braun. What do you think about what I did with the place? Braun says, I hate you, Bray Wyatt. Bray, hey, hit me. Punch me right in the face. Egging him on. But Braun can't do anything. He's chained up in the rocking chair. Bray Wyatt now just laughing. Have I missed you, Braun? Bray Wyatt is proud of Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's 15 minutes of fame is about up. Who's going to stand beside Braun? Who's going to have his back? Braun cannot see where he belongs as Bray Wyatt's now in his face yelling at him. Braun does not understand. Together, we would roll, we would be like gods. Bray Wyatt wants to rule the world. And rightfully so, he should. Braun Strowman gonna send Bray Wyatt back to hell where he belongs. Bray Wyatt acting like the devil himself tonight. It feels good, I got my wings back. No matter what, I'm not going back. Bray Wyatt, one of the best. Bray knows what he's doing. He knows what he's supposed to be. And Bray Wyatt has to destroy the monster inside Braun Strowman. And Bray gonna unlock the chains, it looks like, on Braun. You want to see something really scary? Says Bray, and he laughs. As we see a light now with somebody walking in with a huge ass python, it looks like. And is that Sister Abigail with the snake? It sure as hell looks like it. And the snake bites Strowman in the neck. Come home, Braun. Now we see some wood burning in a field, and Braun Strowman stands up, runs, and he's beating up somebody. I don't know who that guy is wearing all black, but Bray's in a cutoff. Is that Jeff Hardy? No, that's somebody else. A complete jobber. Guy with a shovel as well, trying to attack. Strowman just hit that guy with the shovel right across the face, and he's gonna push him into the fire. Now this guy is burning alive, running around as Braun Strowman sits and laughs. Braun whispers what's going to be behind him. Now we're by the water. We're by the swamp. Who is that standing there? Is that Sister Abigail? That is Sister Abigail. Is that Alexa Bliss? Alexa Bliss is in the Wyatt swamp fight, as Braun has some flashbacks to the mixed tag team with him and Alexa Bliss. All right. We can be together forever if you come back. But Braun's going to walk up to it, and Bray's going to be standing there. Or Bray's going to be standing behind him right now. As Braun stares down the pier, and Bray Wyatt emerges, mandible claw locked in, trying to gouge his eyes out. So they got Alexa Bliss involved. All right, that was pretty cool. Big power slam from Braun Strowman to Bray Wyatt into a boat. Is this the Lake of Reincarnation or what? Bray Wyatt now being sent out to the middle of the swamp, it looks like. But nobody's captaining that boat. Like, it's just Bray by himself. And now Braun looks back to the mainland. What does he see now? All right, this boat's still just floating around. What's that behind him in the background? It looked like the reflection of somebody. Braun now walking into the swamp, walking to the boat. And Bray's not going to be in it. Yeah, Bray's not there. Bray is not in the boat anymore. So the boat went away for a second and then came back. But Bray is not in the boat. This is awesome. This is good. And Bray now, from behind, what is that, a shovel once again? What's he going to try to choke him and drown him in the swamp? They're fighting in the swamp now. Yeah, we're going to get any gators or crocodiles in this. Maybe some fishies or... I mean, hell, we already had the snake. Bray Wyatt looks to have just drowned Braun Strowman in the swamp. Actually, Braun, okay, he's still kicking. He's still there. He emerges from the water. He's gonna climb back up to the pier. Braun now laying on his back, trying to get to his feet. Laughter once again. And now Bray's behind him, standing above him with another shovel. They've used a lot of shovels in this match. Braun fighting back though. Bray just going to town with what looks to be a 2x4 right to the midsection of Braun Strowman as Bray just lets out a scream. It gets a little darker. Look what you made me do. But Braun, from behind him, stands up. And then Braun with a big boot sends Bray into the swamp. I would think now Bray's going to reemerge as the Fiend. Braun looks down into the swamp, looking for Bray Wyatt. Still looking, doesn't see him just yet. It's over. It's over, says Braun Strowman. It's over. We have closing credits down at the bottom of the screen as well. But then Bray, from the swamp, mandible claw, and drags him into the swamp as well. So now Bray and Braun fighting in the swamp waters once again. We had the closing credit down at the bottom of the screen, but it looks like this match will continue for the time being. Somebody was trying to, I don't know who that was, they were trying to escape, but whoever pulled him back down in, pulled him back down in. Now the water turns red. The water has turned red. And Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, reemerges. The Fiend is back. With the Bray Wyatt laughter as he stares into the camera. As they fade to black. Let me in, says the Fiend. Let him in. And that'll do it for the horror show at Extreme Rules, as we now have Tales from the Dead Man, the last ride docuseries for The Undertaker. That'll do it for the horror show at Extreme Rules. So honestly, you could say both Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt won. However, after Braun Strowman kicked Bray into the swamp and said it's over, they then had the closing credits. Bray then mandible claw pulls him back into the water. Somebody then tries to escape. At that point, the closing credits go away. But then the water turned red. A few seconds later, the Fiend reemerges. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, returns. Braun Strowman still, as of now, still Universal Champion on Friday Night SmackDown. However, come SummerSlam, with the Fiend returning to close out the horror show at Extreme Rules, a damn good pay-per-view tonight. A damn good pay-per-view. I thought all the matches were good from start to finish. I thought the whole pay-per-view from start to finish was good. And normally I don't say that. Honestly, tonight, the horror show at Extreme Rules, the first ever horror show at Extreme Rules, with a new name and new logo. Honestly, the best pay-per-view of the year by far, I think. Everybody has their own opinion though. The cinematic type match with the swamp fight, up there as one of the best, with the Boneyard, with the Firefly Funhouse, with AEW's Stadium Stampede, even the Money in the Bank for the WWE mid-May. So with the Fiend returning, it looks like we will get Braun Strowman versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt at WWE SummerSlam on Sunday, August the 23rd. And I will have a preview prediction video, so keep an eye out for that, along with live reactions, play-by-play, live right here on YouTube. I would think then at that point, The Fiend Bray Wyatt's going to go over and win the Universal Championship once again, recapture a title he should have never lost back in the desert of Saudi Arabia back at the end of February against Bill Goldberg, of all people. And then potentially at that point, okay, yeah, there's rumors swirling right now too, with the recent picture of the big dog himself, Roman Reigns, working out. Maybe Reigns is going to return then after SummerSlam, or at SummerSlam, or right after, and then that sets up Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman. But then I would think Bray would face somebody else, and then they would hash out Braun and Roman, because Roman, after he pulled out of WrestleMania due to the COVID-19, due to him having leukemia in the past, they would have a feud with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns for the #1 contendership. Bray faces somebody else in the meantime. Whoever wins that, obviously it's going to be Reigns. And then say Summers or the other big main four pay-per-view to close out the year, Survivor Series, not SummerSlam, coming up next month. Survivor Series potentially in November, or hell, even the Royal Rumble, have the big dog Roman Reigns challenge for the Universal Championship against the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and then figure out what they're going to do with Braun Strowman. We could have another shakeup or a draft in the meantime too. So some of these guys could, be back and forth between Raw or SmackDown, or put on Raw or SmackDown for that matter, rather than just floating around. But damn good event tonight. I thought a damn good pay-per-view for the horror show at Extreme Rules. I honestly really did like the Swamp Fight match with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. As mentioned, I think it's up there with the other big cinematic type matches that we've had since March, due to obviously the pandemic with no fans in attendance and whatnot. But yeah, that's the horror show at Extreme Rules. And coming up next month, we'll have WWE SummerSlam. Keep an eye out for preview predictions and a live stream. But results from the horror show at Extreme Rules to close it out this evening. We had Kevin Owens defeat Buddy Murphy on the kickoff pre-show. Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura are your new SmackDown Tag Team Champions after defeating the New Day in a tables match. Asuka, along with Bayley, they both defended. However, Asuka did not successfully retain her Raw Women's Championship. So Bayley's still your SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley defeated Nikki Cross. And then Sasha Banks defeated Asuka to become your new Raw Women's Champion. So the tag team of Bayley and Sasha Banks now hold all the WWE Women's Championships in the WWE, other than the NXT Women's Championship that is held by Io Shirai. There was no United States Championship match. As once thought, it was supposed to be Apollo Crews versus MVP for the U.S. Championship. However, Apollo not cleared, did not pass his pre-pay-per-view physical for the evening. So MVP crowned himself the new United States Champion during a promo. Drew McIntyre then defended and defeated Dolph Ziggler. Drew McIntyre successfully defended and defeated Dolph Ziggler, in the WWE Championship match that turned out to be an Extreme Rules match, stipulation only for Dolph Ziggler. So McIntyre wasn't allowed to use a steel chair or kendo stick or table by any means. Ziggler, though, did, but however, McIntyre looked strong in the process, as they wanted him to, and Drew McIntyre still your new is still your WWE champion, So yes, McIntyre defended and defeated Dolph Ziggler and is still your WWE champion. Get that right now for the final time. We had the first ever eye for an eye match as well, with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, the Messiah victorious there. We'll see what the future holds for both Mysterio and Rollins, if Mysterio is going to be gone from the company or not, as he's been working without a contract as of late. And then Rollins up there with Orton and McIntyre, as well as the top guys on Monday Night Raw, alongside Kevin Owens too. And then in the main event, it was the first ever Wyatt Swamp fight between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, a non-title match between Strowman and Wyatt, the returning Eater of Worlds. Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt won. Bray Wyatt, your winner over Braun Strowman in the Swamp. And from start to finish, all the matches I thought were good. I thought the pay-per-view as a whole was good as well. But we'll see what the future holds for the whole entire company, for the storylines, more so than not, on the upcoming Raws, NXTs, and SmackDowns, on the road to SummerSlam now, as tomorrow night on Raw, we will have an unsanctioned match with The Big Show and Randy Orton, and then this upcoming Friday night on SmackDown, it looks like it'll be the bar fight between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. But then, as mentioned, after Braun kicked Bray into the Swamp, Bray reemerged, a mandible claw, pulled him in. Looked like Braun at that point tried to escape, but couldn't. Water turned red, and then the Fiend reemerged, returned, and now it'll be Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, you would think, at WWE SummerSlam for the WWE Universal Championship. So, thank you once again for tuning in and watching my WWE The Horror Show at Extreme Rules live stream, this live reaction play-by-play live stream. As always, thank you. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe on social media. Links in the description below. Share on social media, hashtag WWE, hashtag The Horror Show, hashtag Extreme Rolls, and hopefully enjoy it as much as I did. I thought it was a damn good event. I did. I honestly did. And normally, as mentioned, I normally don't say that a whole lot. So, must be doing something right, for them at least. I did think it was a good show. All the matches from start to finish, as mentioned once again, and the whole show from start to finish. As we now have the Tales of the Dead Man with The Undertaker, this Last Ride documentary series. But keep an eye out for my WWE SummerSlam preview predictions. We'll see if we'll get an NXT TakeOver event that weekend as well or not. But nonetheless, keep an eye out for my WWE SummerSlam preview predictions. Be sure to also tune in for WWE SummerSlam live reactions on Sunday, August the 23rd. And once again, thank you for tuning in this evening for my live reactions play of the WWE Horror Show at Extreme Rules pay-per-view this evening. Bray Wyatt, your winner over Braun Strowman, as they went down to the Swamp. But only Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Bray Wyatt, reemerged and returned from the Swamp.